Hi everybody, thank you for coming back to another video from Journals and Such by Kathy. I'm Kathy, and today I'm going to work on my spring porch goose. So what I've already done is I went through and cut out all the tags and all the journaling cards and stuff like that I'm going to be using. And then I've got my embellishments over here ready to go. I've got some flowers, these cute little, I forget what these are called. Are they like light bulb safety pins or something? But anyway, got all kinds of pretty spring colors on those. And then I've got these, look at these paper clips. Isn't that fun? So of course when they go on the page, they'll look like a flower. So I got some of those to use. I have these fabrics. I'm not entirely sure where those are going to be used yet, or if at all, but they're pretty, so I pulled those out. This, of course, is the journal that I'll be working on. This was a couple of, looks like 4 card bases that I just used, and I put my papers on those, and it was a little bit tall, so I just went ahead and cut them down to the size that I needed. So that's the journal itself. I've got my yellow fabric. This feels like just cotton fabric. Another journaling card that I'll use. Got some like gossamer bows. Of course, lace. Some more lace. Got some shimmery gold, I don't know, fabric, whatever that is. And of course, that flower ribbon. And I've got these also, these couple of yellow squares. Again, not sure if they're going to be incorporated or where, but we'll see where the creative process takes us. And then, of course, I've got my hole puncher, my circle hole. I think that's a 1/2 inch there. I've got my grommet setter. And, of course, let's see, a 1/4 rounder, a larger 2-inch circle, and my scissors. So I think what I'm going to do for this video basically is I am going to start working, and I'll put some music over the video so y'all can just kind of have me on in the background while you're doing stuff. And other than that, thank you for joining me, and let's get started. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here is have a yellow, use that yellow to cover the spine. I want to make sure I don't do it too tight, otherwise the book itself obviously wouldn't open very well. So let me see. And I want to make sure also that the paper that this one is printed on, that you won't be able to see. Nope, that looks good. I wanted to make sure you couldn't see through it. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and hop right in. Uh-oh. There we go. Of course, that's just art glitter glue that I'm using on this. I've got some Fabri-Tac somewhere that might be a little bit better because this is fabric, but we'll make do with what we got here. It doesn't have to be straight because, well, of course, we'll have that cover image going over this when we get everything done. So put that there. And again, I don't want to make the wrap on the, I don't want to squish the pages down when I'm doing this binding because we want to give the pages room to move. So I'm just going to go ahead and you can see I'm still allowing the spine to have some room. I'm not squishing it. So I'm still allowing the spine room to move there. And we'll just go along the other edge. I'm just going to bring it over. It's real casual. And then as that dries, I will go ahead and cut off the excess in a bit. The cover is generally the last thing that I do when I'm doing a book because it's like the finishing touch, right? So we're going to hold off on that for right now. See that having that extra binding or that extra fabric there lets that book just open the way it naturally would. So we're going to go ahead now and cut off the excess here. Good. Go a little bit closer on that. We got a little bit of a lip there, so I'm gonna there. There we go. All right, so now we got the binding done. All right, now this is, I think, the fun part about building the journal, which is why I like doing these mini ones. The putting all the embellishments and the tucks and all of that kind of stuff, and it's like trying to figure out where things are going to go, and do they belong in the book at all? Maybe they don't, or maybe they belong on the front or the back. Let me see here. Get out my little scoring board here. And I apologize for this setup. It's kind of wonky. I have decided that I was going to redo my entire craft room, which is also my office. I am fortunate that I work from home. So this room is really a multi-purpose space. And when you try to reorganize something and you're still using it, it just makes a mess. So hopefully in the next little bit here, I will be getting my setup the way I want it to be. So it's not quite so mishmash over here. But, so now I've got this pocket. And these printables, they will be available in my shop. The journal will be available as well, I believe. This is going to be a one-of-a-kind journal, but I will be making a couple of them, I think. Each one is just going to be, just a little bit different. Because as we know, things don't always come together in the same way twice, no matter how much you try. Now, okay, so there's the pocket. I think I've got another one hanging around here somewhere. I really should organize these things, but... All right, now I'm just going to go through and get all the holes in the tags, because tags are great. We love tags. So most of these will be used. And what I generally do when I put together journals like this and offer them for sale is I will very, very loosely embellish them. And then later, and then I will add the ephemera pack in so it can, the person that purchases the kit can make it their own. That grommet puncher wasn't exactly what I needed, so let's see, we're going to try this. This is a mini hole puncher, but I think that might be a little bit too many. So let's try a standard size one. Let's see what we've got. Let's see here. It's a little bit close to the top there, but that'll work. We'll just bring it down a little bit. Don't you hate when that happens? The mini is too mini and the standard is too big. But that's all right. Let me trim this up. And then, of course, the beautiful quarter rounders. We love those. So I don't know about you guys, but I am 100% ready for spring. Truth be told, I was ready for spring in the fall. Fall is beautiful and everything, but I'm a summer girl. I want to be out in the garden. I don't do much outside in the snow and stuff. It's just I prefer to stay inside and warm. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that do enjoy the winter and stuff, and I think that's great. I am ready for spring. And I know my kids are too. It's like basically going out in the for recess and playing in mud, which oddly they don't seem to care about. But then everything is dirty and it's wet and everything has to be washed and dried every night, and it's just stuff I'd rather not deal with. Let's see. Okay, so let's see about... So I've already got this little tag done. He can go there. He can go there. Let's see. Okay, so we do have some more pockets that I'll do here real quick. So I've got back a little over a year ago, I lost my Great Dane. Her name was Pandora. She was a good dog. But we lost her in last September. And since then, my boxer hasn't been getting the exercise that she needed. You know, people can't play with dogs the way other dogs can. And she's getting a little thick, and so I'm like, okay. So after much deliberation, I went ahead and decided that it would be okay for us to get another dog. Now, I didn't want another dog. I surely didn't want a puppy. But the way my boxer is, she gets jealous and she's territorial a little bit. So I'm like, well, I think it would be best for us to not try to bring in another dog that would be coming from the shelter. Just because you never know what those dogs have been through and what kind of issues they're bringing. I do have cats in the house. And sometimes, you just don't know what you're getting. So what I ended up doing was getting a puppy from a rescue. Because I figured that would just be the best chance of success for everybody. So I went ahead and decided we could get a puppy, and we got her. I believe in September of 25, and now it is February of 26. And these dogs don't stop playing all day, which is great for both of them. I'm really, really happy. I could not have asked for a better companion for my boxer. But the downside of that is it's getting to be the February thaw here in Michigan. So whereas before they were just coming in from playing, just being wet, now they are muddy and they're digging and they're having a great time outside. And it's just like, come on guys, can you wipe your paws before you come in? And of course the answer is no. But so I'm working on training them to stop when they come in, wait on the rug for me to wipe off their paws. And with a 4-year-old dog, this is a new thing that we're doing. And then, you know, essentially what, a 9-month-old pup. She's in her teenage years, so she just barrels through everything anyway. The training on that is going a little bit slow, but I think it'll be worth it when we get it done. All right, so let's see what we got here. So I've got my binding done, and I really like the way that works with this particular setup that we've got here. I've got my, let's see, my journaling cards. I'll probably, maybe, I was going to say I might cut that one a little bit closer. Yeah, it's going to have to come down in size, otherwise there's not going to be a spot for it in the journal. Okay, so we'll cut that down. Oh boy, let's see. This is, isn't that a cute little hat? Tags, get rid of some of this trash here. My cuttings. I think I could even put like something, because these pockets don't have a whole lot going on as far as decoration, so I wonder what I can do there. See, to me this is the fun part of doing these journals, is what do I want it to look like? What am I feeling right now? Oops, get those in a bit. Because I could, you know, just leave it like that. It's got the lined pages in there. Everything is fine. But look at that little duck playing in the water. Let's see, where do we want him to be? So I want him, I think what I want, he's got a, I put a little duck on. There was a frog there. I don't care for frogs, so I just went over it with that. Let's see, this is a cute little tuck spot I can put like there, or I could even put it up there and then tuck from underneath like that, something along those lines, and then you could still use that. I could cut it down a bit. So I'm trying to also, you know, make it cute, but also preserve as much writing space as I can. I should have made these a little bit smaller, but then he can tuck right up in there, and that could be another little writing space. And then obviously when he comes out, this can, I could fold that over so that it could flip out. Maybe I'll try that with him. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm going to store him. There, so that it can flip up. Yep, and I'm going to cut it down. Where's my... It's ridiculous. I cannot cut a straight line, hardly at all. So I've got my trusted paper trimmer here. off that little bit. And then that will sit right there. Yep, I like it. Oh, I didn't put the thing back in my glue. And then that will flip back. So you still have access to the writing space. And then this guy can still go there. I can actually put him, we'll have to work on that. Okay, let's see. Okay, look like that. What else have we got here? Got some pockets, got a couple of Mabel cutouts. Yep. Let's see. We'll do what should we do? Should we use that? Yeah, I think we'll use the lace instead here. Should have done this before I cut it, huh? Got my cats knocking on my door here, but they are not allowed in my craft room for probably obvious reasons. They love being in here when I forget to close the door, but it's like, no, you guys got to stay out there. And let's see, where do I want this one to go? So we've got the goose there, and we're covering the flowers over here. So, so I will do, and miter that a little bit closer. You want those corners to be nice and crisp. So yep, so that will go there. Okay. All right, going right along. Let's see. So we got this. I think we're just going to go ahead and put what we got? Okay. These card bases are thick, so trying to put these paper clips on us, like I just want to make sure I don't have anything on the other side that I'm getting in the way of here. Okay. Let me see, maybe I cut this one a little bit closer. And I feel like there's something that I want to do, but I can't quite remember what it was that I wanted to do. Oh, this. Let me do this before I forget. This I want to go just right along here because this page was a little bit off when I glued it on. And of course, with that art glitter glue, you don't get a second chance. So let's see if I can't make this work. So I know, let's see, I'm gonna have to crumple it several times as I'm working through this to get the effect that I want. So this is gonna be my nemesis, but we'll see how it works out. You know what I think I want to do? Maybe this is what I was thinking. What do we think? Something like that? Yeah, I like that. Let me see. Again, using art glitter glue on a fabric. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we'll give it time to dry. Yeah, it's seeping through the fabric, which I expected. That's okay, so we're going to let that dry for a minute. And then we'll come down here, put some glue there. So what I'm trying to do is keep the flowiness of the fabric while also tacking it down so it doesn't come off. So let's see. Do this. I've got another craft show coming up in March that I'm super excited about. I haven't done one since right before Christmas. So I want to, I'll have to start making some inventory and stuff. And I'm in talks with a vendor store. I got to read the contract and stuff and see how I feel about what's in there. But if everything goes well, some of my stuff will be available at a retail location that I'm, again, super excited about. This is not stuff that I generally do. I've just started doing things, gosh, last year sometime. Like late last year. And so taking the chance and doing stuff for like actual sale. I mean, doing stuff for your friends and family, of course, that's always fun. But then actually like putting things out for the public, and you just really hope that they think you're good enough to spend money on. It's a big deal. But I'm super excited about it. If everything goes well, I'll have my stuff for sale the middle of March. But of course, I'll keep y'all updated on that. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's see, do I want to put that as a... No, I want to keep that on the tag. That's... Now I got to figure out what I did with my tag. There it is. Okay, so now what I'm thinking for this is kind of like with this tag where I did a flippy. I think this one, I think I'll do this as a flip also. could do it that way, and then it flips that way. That's a little unexpected, isn't it? Yep, I think I'll do that. I like that. And then get that centered on there. Yep, I like it. I should put a mat down so I'm not getting glue all over my desk. And then what I could do is add like a little boop. I think that'll be too much bulk on that one. Let's see here. Yep. All right, let's see how this is coming along. Yep, I think that'll do what I want it to do. And it needs to dry a little bit more. I can find something to put over here. I can just put this over that. Just a little bit of a boop. Put that right there. Oops. All right. So let's see, I got that tag. I feel like I need a thing for the tag. Oh, I know what I need. I'll be right back. All right, so I had this ribbon in my stash from when Joann's went out of business. So we'll just incorporate that into some of what we got going on here. Let me see. Pink, I'll do a pink one. Maybe. There we go. Does it just need a one, do we think? One hanging down? Yeah, I'll do 3. So I can always cut off what we don't use, right? Yeah, I think just one, just a little decoration. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then here, this little nest is going to just tuck right in there. I'm going to cut that a little closer. Yep. Okay. This might get a spot where it hangs off. I don't know if I'll put it through the page or not, but okay. So there's that one. I think that might be a little tuck spot versus leaving it as a tag. Let me see. I want to do blue there though. And be careful and not get too much bulk along that spine. And that flower doesn't want to cooperate, so we'll get rid of him. We'll use him someplace else, I'm sure. Okay, good. So I'm just going to glue back here. Keep those stems in place. Again, I'm going to have to let this dry because we don't want it sticking to the page. We want it to be useful. But actually, yeah, I'm going to tape it down because I don't want those little sticks getting in the way of anything that you tuck in there. So we're just going to get some of our handy packaging tape. Secure that down. Hopefully that works. I've never actually done this before. I don't see why it wouldn't work, but and then back there. I have some little bitty precision scissors, but I've got no idea what I did with them, which is a bummer. Yep, I like that. I'll go ahead and glue down. Hopefully this works with that tape. If it doesn't, we'll have to figure out something else with that. There. Holding everything together with clothespins. Alright. So, let's see. So far we've got that. You stay in there. You go there. That will be in there. This is a pull out. I'll put let's see. Yeah, I think he'll go in there when everything is dry. Could do that, and then that would be just a paper clip in there. I think I'll do that. Let's see. The last paper clip I used was pink, so These fun paper clips give me fits sometimes. Let's see. Okay. And actually, what I could do is pin that. Nah, I don't know. I was just thinking it would give it some movement, but I don't like that. Oh, look at that. Then we're out of pages. Ah, that's fun. I want this to go somewhere. Does it maybe go on the cover? Does it do something like that? It might. It might go on the binding. Okay, let's see how we're doing with all the glue. We're gonna let that one sit for another few minutes. Let's see how this is doing. Yeah, that still has quite a bit of ways to go. Okay, that will work. I'm just gonna let it sit for a little bit longer. All right, let's see. This now this page is obviously bigger than this page, so I've got to make sure we're going to actually measure from the feet up to make sure she gets all of her in there. So that puts it about there. So I'm going to get out my handy dandy paper trimmer again. And then almost doesn't matter where she goes from there, but that is still a smidge too tall. So got to get rid of that smidge. Let's see, is that better? Yep, okay. So what I'm gonna do I should have a brush for this, but again, I'm reorganizing my craft room and I don't know where some of my stuff is. So okay, there she is. Yay, I love her. She looks so cute. I do want some embellishments for the cover though. Let me not a lot of embellishments though. I try not to over embellish stuff because you don't know excuse me, if somebody buys this and wants to write on it, but there's a big button there or something, if it's not gonna work for them. And I want stuff to be useful to the person buying it. If they choose not to use it, then that's okay, but I don't want it to not be usable. Yeah, remember how I said I can't cut a straight line? Here's your proof. There. And I think what I might do also is put some of this lace. Oh, I like that. Okay, we'll do that. But I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the back here. Like, I don't want to just leave the back hanging, you know, that ain't cool. That glued down a little bit. Now, I did have, see, I can do something like this. Essentially the same thing, it's just different outside stuff. Or I thought I had, is that the one I was thinking of? I thought I had a bigger one. No, I think I like this. So I will do that, and of course then this lace is going to wrap around here. Yeah, I like it. Yep. All right, get her glued down. Is she the right size? Yep. Okay, perfect. And then this one I am going to even it up a little bit. It just needs to be trimmed down just a smidge. Oh, we weren't out of pages. We haven't done these yet. What was I thinking? Okay, we got one more here to do. Let's see what we got. Drop my tape. We'll do something with that. See, so I got another tuck. I could do the same thing that I did up here with this and do a little flip out again. I could do that. It's a little bit of a taller pocket. Do that, then I could put these other two flowers on there. Do that with some ribbon. This ribbon? That flip up, and look, there's some flowers there too. Yeah, maybe I'll do that here real quick. Cut that a little bit closer. Man, I wish I could find my little scissors. Trying to do these kind of cuts with big scissors is a little bit difficult, but all right. Goes this way. This way. Okay, so that preserves the writing space there. And then I think what I want to do is just glue one down, just a little bit too, just to anchor it. But then I want them to move. But boy, I put a lot of glue on that. I'll let that dry for a few minutes. In the meantime, see. No, I like these flowers. I don't know where else to use them, but all right. And then do we want the big maple? Well, you can't see your face if I do that, can you? She'll just have to have a home somewhere. All right, let's see what we got here. This is going to go in there, I think. No, I didn't have him there. I had him there. And now I'm getting all confused as to where my things go. All right. There they are. That's what I was looking for. There. Now, do I want to do something? Kind of keep that in there. Oh, yes, absolutely love this. All right, so maybe, where did... where did the tag go that I put paper on, or fabric? All right, gonna clean up here a second and see where we're at. Somehow it got put away. Okay, so I think well, then it's gonna flop open. So let me think. Let me noodle a little bit, because I can put it like that, but I don't want then that fabric to flop. Do I just close it and have that be not super excited about that because I like this idea, but no. I don't know where this goes, but it's not a cover piece. Not as it stands. So let me get, there we go. That's going to come off the cover. There we go, like that. And we'll create the loop up here. That will come off, yep, right there. Maybe orange. Yep, I like the orange. That's what we're doing. this, ouch, right through this fabric. Nobody tear on me, okay? And then I'll put that down the middle. Oh man, I wish I had some Fabri-Tac. You know what, we're gonna do tacky glue for this spine. This is gonna be a long process because what I'm gonna do is tack it down and let it dry. But I want a thicker glue. That will hopefully not seep through the fabric quite so much. Okay, so we are going to leave that there. I want to get some, maybe those go down the spine. We'll have to visit that. I kind of like that idea, but I'm going to have this tag, and I don't want it to get tangled up in the things, but maybe I make this dangle not quite so long. Maybe I make it just like to there. I don't know, we'll have to see. Okay, so while that's taking a minute to dry, I'm going to clean up the rest of my stuff here. I also need to figure out a closure for it. I've got this ribbon, it's wired, so I'll take the wire out. That's not a big deal. But I don't know. I haven't decided on that yet. I do want to do some type of embellishment, like something maybe over here in her corner. But again, I try not to do too many things on the cover, because I don't want the bulk to be too much to actually use the journal. So I'm gonna set aside all the rest of these tags and pockets and stuff, and those will go when I list the journal. All the extra stuff will go with it. That needs to stay. And all these flowers, they're so pretty. Flowers are one of my favorite things. Flowers and birds. And then, let's see, oh, this had the flower paper clips in it. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me while I'm working on this. I'm going to let this dry and then work on it a little bit more. And when I come back through, we'll do a final flip through, okay? Thank you. See you later.